the background, the sun is setting. Looks like a beautiful sunset, but unfortunately that is Thomas Fire smoke right there. That's really adding to that very colorful background behind me. Now, the fire and the smoke particularly here in the Santa Maria Valley was just horrendous yesterday. A lot better today and throughout the day. In fact, woke up this morning here and it was remarkably different. However, there's a lot of smoke and ash in the air remaining here throughout the day. And like you said, it is causing a lot of anxiety and worry for people about health impacts, especially a lot of people that are having to walk around and work outdoors. Now, this was the scene this afternoon at our Santa Maria headquarters in our parking lot on our news vehicles. Wow, a lot of ash, as you can see, just built up as it's been raining down literally the last couple of days. Now, as we know, this particulate matter doesn't just drop on the ground. It's unfortunately being inhaled, going into mouths, noses, and eyes, causing people to become sick. Marion Regional Medical Center here in Santa Maria has seen a big increase in visits from people who have pre-existing conditions, but also they're seeing visits from people that have been otherwise healthy with no pre-existing conditions. Coughing, wheezing, shortness of breath, those are all common symptoms of smoke-related illnesses. Now, those are short-term issues. A much scarier issue, what are the long-term consequences? Dr. Chuck Merrill, Chief Medical Officer at Marion, says that's something that he simply just cannot answer right now.
There is no complete knowledge of all the materials that could be in the results of such a fire because all these different structures, as well as much of the brush and forage has been burned. But we don't know what's in the air, and we have no way of knowing what the long-term sequelae could potentially be of that.
And to minimize the dangers, Dr. Merrill recommends what we've been talking about the last few days, avoid being outdoors as much as possible, also to wear the mask that we've been seeing distributed all throughout local counties as well. Now, I checked the air quality at the last reading on a couple of the air monitoring stations for San Luis Obispo County and Santa Barbara County. The air in Lompoc Valley right now is still listed as unhealthy for sensitive people here in Santa Maria, and in the southern San Luis Obispo County, it is listed as moderate. We'll have much more at 6 o'clock. For right now, reporting live in Santa Maria, Dave Alley. Back to you guys.
Right, that really was a great shot from Dave, and seeing all that layer of smoke and smog behind him. Winds are calmer, though. That's great news. But that smoke, the ash, still just hanging.
Yeah, hanging. And, we heard yesterday from SLO County public health officials that it's a little bit higher up there, so the air quality wasn't really being measured by the instrumentation there. So they're not seeing it as bad as what we're seeing in Santa Barbara County. But you can see that the air quality warning remains in effect in the south coast of Santa Barbara County, where it's unhealthy. As Dave mentioned, we're seeing unhealthy for sensitive groups in northern Santa Barbara County, including Lompoc and Vandenberg, Santa Ynez, even parts of San Luis Obispo County experiencing the effects, the high concentrations of smoke and ash due to the Thomas Fire. Let's go to the other warning now, weather-wise, this one issued by the National Weather Service, and they have decided to extend this red flag warning in Ventura County until 8 p.m. Tuesday for the valleys and the coast, and all the way through 8 p.m. Wednesday in the mountains. This is the area where the fire weather risk will remain at the highest due to some gusty Santa Anas that continue, and low relative humidity values, mostly in the single digits and the teens. Let me take you on a tour of the perimeter of the Thomas Fire, starting west of it at the Botanic Gardens in Santa Barbara. This is one of the foothill spots that gets windy and dry whenever you get offshore events. Not necessarily strong winds since it's not really a sundowner, but relative humidity values are in the single digits, and it's still in the mid-70s. It's December 11th. That's 5:17 in the evening. 70 degrees in the Cart foothills with breezes coming out of the north-northeast at about 8 miles per hour. Closer to the city in Carp, we have a west wind blowing at about 5 to 10. Ventura finally seeing a southwest wind here with the highest humidity we've seen since last week when the fire broke out Monday evening, just about 7 days ago. And for Wiley Ridge near Santa Paula, here we're seeing some strong Santa Ana still at this hour with gusts right around 40 miles per hour. I want to zero on into the south coast. Tonight's forecast, we will see light to moderate north winds here, especially in the foothills, but nothing too significant. You see gusts maybe around 20 miles per hour. The other story today with the thinner smoke, we saw record-setting temps, Camarillo, Oxnard, Paso Robles, and Goleta. Here's a look at current temps. We're still quite warm out there with numbers mostly in the 60s, from 68 in Santa Ynez to 69 in Santa Barbara. A little bit of an east wind to the north, but a west-northwest wind around Goleta and Oxnard. And check out the relative humidity values, very dry for this time of the year. And that pattern stays in place with no rain due to high pressure. But then this weekend, we get a little inside slider that moves inland across the north northwest. I think it's going to increase the onshore flow, dropping temperatures some, while at the same time raising humidity levels. Now, what about rain with the extended models? None through the weekend, but potentially next week, the model, the GFS, wants to bring in maybe just a little bit of wet weather. Here's a quick look at the forecast for tomorrow. We'll see warm, light wind, unhealthy smoke out there continuing with temperatures mostly in the 70s and 80s, so it's going to be quite warm out there up and down the coast. And I know we haven't shown this 7-day forecast a lot over the past several days, but I want to show a few areas. 80s in Santa Barbara. We'll see 80s through the end of the week at least, if not all the way through the next 7 days in Ventura. And in Santa Ynez, we've got mid to upper 70s here with a little cooler weather maybe by the weekend, but it looks like it rises back up early next week. Well, I'll have more on the Thomas Fire, the forecast out there at 6 o'clock, and also include some of those northern 7-day areas in SLO County, northern Santa Barbara County for KCOY viewers as well.
Okay, good.
Sounds good. All right, we have an update now on some of the power outages. SoCal Edison says the Thomas Fire is causing intermittent outages and power surges in the Santa Barbara area. This has been going on for days, potentially affecting up to 85,000 customers. And then in the Ventura area, about 2,500 customers are still experiencing outages due to the fire. Officials say generators have been deployed in numerous locations, and also Edison officials say that as of 1 a.m., crews had replaced 213 of the 392 power poles that had been damaged in the fire.
They're hard at work, for sure. Okay. I'm going to give you a live look again at the Thomas Fire. You can see the flames high above the hills, Carpinteria, Summerlin. A lot of this is the back burn that we have exclusive video of. We will show that to you coming up in the next half hour.
All right, welcome back. We have continuing live coverage now of the Thomas Fire, and we're going to start off with our Waze map here. This gives you an idea of where it's burning. All that yellow you see in the middle, that's the Los Padres National Forest. Much of that, we just found out, is really part of the Zaca burn from 2007? Yeah. So that's fairly old burn. And then if we zoom in a little bit, you'll see some of the reservoirs. We have Gibraltar, and you can see how close the head of the fire is to Gibraltar, and then and right there is Kachuma. So one of the questions that was discussed at the community meeting was about why not let it burn in the backcountry. They said if they do that, then debris and silt fills up the reservoirs. It affects our water, and that's not a good thing. They say they're going to put it out, but that's not their priority at this point.
That's right. They did tell us also they've got the staging on the 154. We'll talk more about that coming up at 6. The fire is 22,500 acres, containment up to 15%. Calmer winds tonight, which is great news, Alan.
Yeah, and here's the forecast for that all-important area, the Carpinteria, the Montecito foothills, where residents can still see flames tonight. And I'm told from our assignment desk manager, Claire, just walked in, said you can actually see it driving on the mesa. If you look out down Carrillo Hill, you can see it. Photo wind gust tonight around 20 miles per hour. Santa Barbara 7-day forecast stays very warm here, and very warm in San Luis Obispo with areas of smoke through the end of the week.
Okay.
All right, thanks for watching. We'll be back at 6 o'clock, and see you in about 30 minutes.